Hello and welcome. I'm Exit and this is my channel. And today is Friday the 13th. And it happens to fall during our 31 days of Halloween. So aren't we lucky? Or are we? We're going to talk about the history and the fear of 13 and Friday the 13th. So, before we get started, let's do our housekeeping. If you are not subscribed and you would like to be, please do so. And if you do, please click the bell and you'll be notified when my content goes up. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it. All helps my channel a lot. And if you're enjoying the 31 days of Halloween and you would like to, there's a button down below the video that says thanks. And it's a tip jar. So if you feel like giving a tip, that would be lovely. And as always, it is not mandatory. All right. Are you guys ready to talk about Friday the 13th? Here we go. Friday the 13th is long considered a harbinger of bad luck. Friday the 13th has inspired a late 19th century secret society, an early 20th century novel, a horror film franchise, and not one but two ridiculously long, confusing words that describe fear of the day of Friday the 13th. So, it's your lucky day, and you are going to hear me completely butcher those words. Okay, are you ready? Number one is a parascavidecatriophobia. Let's do that better. Parascavidecatriophobia. There you go. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Here's the next one. Frigastricadecaphobia. 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 Say that 3 times. Anyway, that's what you have if you're afraid of Friday the 13th. I'm more afraid of the words. The fear of 13. Just like walking under a ladder, crossing paths with a black cat, or breaking a mirror, many people hold fast to the belief that Friday the 13th brings about bad luck. Unless, by the way, you like tattoos, because you can always get cheap tattoos on Friday the 13th that, have the number 13 in them. I don't know if you needed to know that or not, but in case you did. Though it's uncertain exactly when this particular tradition began, negative superstitions have swirled around the number 13 for centuries. While Western cultures have historically associated the number 12 with completeness, there are 12 days of Christmas, 12 months, and zodiac signs, 12 labors of Hercules, 12 gods of Olympus, and 12 tribes of Israel, just to name a few examples. The ancient code of Hammurabi, I got that one, for example, reportedly omitted a 13th law from its list of legal rules. Though this was maybe a clerical error, the superstitious people sometimes point to this as proof of 13's long-standing negative associations. The fear of the number 13 also has a word. Okay? Here we go. Triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia. That wasn't that bad. And that's what you have if you're afraid of number 13. So, why is Friday the 13th so unlucky? Well, according to biblical tradition, 13 guests attended the Last Supper. held on Maundy, Thursday, including Jesus and his 12 apostles, one of whom, Judas, betrayed him. The next day, of course, was Good Friday, the day of Jesus' crucifixion. The seating arrangement at the Last Supper is believed to have given rise to a long-standing Christian superstition that having 13 guests at a table was a bad omen, specifically that it was asking for death. Though Friday's negative associations are weaker, some have suggested that they also have roots in Christian tradition. Just as Jesus was crucified on a Friday, Friday was also said to be the day that Eve gave Adam the fateful apple from the tree of knowledge, as well as the day Cain killed his brother Abel. So, sounds like a bad day. In the late 19th century, a New Yorker named Captain William Fowler sought to remove the enduring stigma surrounding the number 13, and particularly the unwritten rule about not having 13 guests at a dinner table, by founding an exclusive society called the 13 Club. The group dined regularly on the 13th day of the month in room 13 of the Knickerbocker Cottage, a popular watering hole Fowler owned from 1863 to 1883. Before sitting down to a 13-course dinner, members would pass beneath a ladder and a banner reading Morituri te salutamus, which is Latin for those of us who are about to die salute you. 4 former U.S. presidents, Chester Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, and Theodore Roosevelt, would all become members of the 13's Club at one time or another. In pop culture, an important milestone in the history of the Friday the 13th legend in particular, not just the number 13, occurred in 1907 with the publication of the novel Friday the 13th, written by Thomas William Lawson. The book told the story of a New York City stockbroker who plays on a superstition about the date to create a chaos on Wall Street and make a killing on the market. The horror movie Friday the 13th, released in 1980, introduced the world to a hockey mask-wearing killer named Jason, and is perhaps the best-known example of the famous superstition in pop culture history. The movie spawned multiple sequels, as well as comic books, novellas, video games, related merchandise, and countless terrifying Halloween costumes. On Friday the 13th of October in 1307, wrap your brain around that, officers of King Philip IV of France arrested hundreds of the Knights Templar, which was a powerful religious and military order formed in the 12th century for the defense of the Holy Land. They were imprisoned on charges of various illegal behaviors, but really because the king wanted access to their financial resources. Many Templars were later executed. Some cite the link with the Templars as the origin of the Friday the 13th superstition, but like many legends involving the Templars and their history, the truth remains a little murky. In more recent times, a number of traumatic events have occurred on Friday the 13th, including the German bombing of Buckingham Palace, which was in September of 1940, the murder of Kitty Genovese in Queens, New York, in March of 1964, a cyclone that killed more than 300,000 people in Bangladesh in November of 1970. Wow. The disappearance of a Chilean Air Force plane in the Andes in October of 1972, and the death of rapper Tupac Shakur in September of 1996. Also, the crash of the Costa Concordia cruise ship off the coast of Italy, which killed 30 people in January of 2012. So, what do you think about the number 13? I think it's so common to not be afraid of it, but associate it with bad things that even hotels don't have a 13th floor. And we just accept it. Right. It does. Of course it doesn't. It's the 13. What do you guys think about it? Are you afraid of it? Do you believe in Friday the 13th, or that 13 is a bad, quote unquote, bad number? All right. Thank you for coming here today on Friday the 13th of October 2023, or whenever you hear this. And good night.